love them. Some are works of art and some need to be drowned in bleach and set fire to. Every season, designers are hard at work looking to design the best, or potentially the worst, football shirts ready to prize our hard-earned money for 9 months of the year, so we can represent our club to the fullest. Now, that might sound a little bit unfair, as football shirts obviously have a longer shelf life than this, but in fashion terms, and football terms, the window is shorter than an 8-year-old with ADHD's attention span. This season, clubs have really pushed the boat out. Shirt prices have never been higher, and in the cost of living crisis, this seems to be counterproductive and harmful to the consumer. However, shirt sales seem to increase year on year. But why? Historically, football kit prices have always been pretty high, even going back to the first replica sold by Leeds for a fiver in 1973. In today's money, that would be worth £60.73p. Admiral, who were lead sponsor at the time, proposed they were to redesign the kit in such a way that the result could be copyrighted and replicas were sold to the general public, with the club receiving a royalty for each replica shirt sold. The new Leeds kit was practically identical to the Umbro version that preceded it, with only the Admiral logo that was added to the kit in 1974-1975. Admiral's stroke of genius was to create a radically different change kit in all yellow and blue with white trim, which Leeds would then wear in their away games. Regardless of whether the home teams clashed with Leeds white, this coined the term change kit, and was rapidly replaced with the away kit, which has now become universal as a result. From here, football teams went from strength to strength and shirts to shirts, and shirts would officially become incorporating shirt sponsors in 1983 for televised games, after Hibs and Liverpool tried to precede this, but were ultimately told televised games could not feature a sponsor on the shirt. In 1984, Derby County were the first team to release a third kit, and this was to celebrate their centenary, a tradition that would be followed years later. In the 90s, this would become big business for football replica kits, as the emergence of the Premier League would rock the footballing landscape. Teams were not allowed to wear black strips, which had been banned previously, so they didn't clash with the referee, as refs were now told they could wear other colours. Not only were the colours changing, but the shirts would also allow player printing on the back of shirts. This was to help fans feel closer to the game and the players they so idolised. This grew to be so lucrative that the government enforced the Labour Footballing Task Force, and it was formed to ensure that every club played in a football shirt for at least 2 years. It even included the club's sell-by date on the label, making it clear how long the garment would last before it went out of date. In the thousands, the Wild West of the 90s kits and fashions had stabilised. However, kit manufacturers were now looking more at shirt technology and less about the aesthetics in some cases. By 2010, all 20 Premier League clubs produced a home shirt, an away shirt and a third shirt each year, and with little opposition and none from the government. They have ploughed on ever since with this money printing yet environmentally damaging and fan fleecing operation. And since 2010, the kit count for all 20 Premier League clubs that have played in the Premier League, whether they've been here for a season or been relegated or promoted, has now accounted for over 700 different football shirts that have been released. So in 2023, football shirts are at an all-time premium, and with more and more teams looking to market themselves and the oversaturation of the market, you would expect these shirts to be cheaper, right? More sustainable materials, lower production costs due to recycled materials, more units meaning less costs to the consumer, right? Wrong. On average, an adult shirt now costs £70, while a kid's shirt will cost £50. And this is not factoring in the authentic shirt prices of the £70 Crystal Palace one or the £125 Spurs one. Brentford, the previous shining light in a sea of money, have also put the cost of their adult shirts up from £49 to £60, although this is still cheaper in comparison to the likes of Manchester United, Fulham, Tottenham and Arsenal. Brentford, the previous shining light in a sea of money, have also put their cost up with their adult shirt from £49 to £60. And although it's still cheaper in comparison to the likes of Manchester United, Fulham, Tottenham and Arsenal, it's still an £11 increase. It's also important to note that this is Brentford's first new kit for 2 years, as they refuse to bring out a new shirt for the 2022-2023 campaign to save fans money. In terms of price increases, Nottingham Forest fans will now have to pay £15.50 more this year after a rise of 26%, and this is the biggest jump in the Premier League. With football shirts being a big business, the Big Six alone have dropped 168 new kits in the past decade, each year selling a different home, away and third kit. For me, as a Manchester United fan with 2 boys, it will cost me a whopping £190 for 3 shirts, and that is without any player printing. As Manchester United have released 3 kits again this year, that's £570 for 9 shirts, or £190 per person in my household to have all 3 shirts. But how much does a shirt cost to make? On average, a Manchester United shirt will cost £8 per unit to make. £8 fucking pound. That means on my adult shirt, there is £72 worth of revenue to be made on each shirt that is sold. Right, time to get the green and gold scarf out. It's the fucking Glazers. Actually, no, not this time. The retailer and shirt manufacturer make up the bulk of the revenue, with the retailer making £26.40 and the manufacturer making £23.47. Hence why most clubs sell official shirts through their own club shops and online to recoup a greater amount of the costings. Outside of that, Manchester United make £4.80 per shirt sold. VAT or tax is £13.33, with an additional £1.16 distribution to the UK. Finally, £2.40 for each individual shirt for the marketing. For context, when Manchester United signed Ronaldo, within 10 days Adidas sold £187 million worth of shirts, netting United £13.1 million and covering Ronaldo's fee of £12.9 million instantly. This redistribution of profits is fucking criminal, and on a yearly basis, with 2 additional designs, the profit margins rise and rise and rise. Manchester United sell on average 1.95 million shirts per year, taking 16% of those earnings. I don't have a problem with clubs being funded this way. It's a choice to own one, but it's a choice that is ever increasingly harder to make when shirt prices are forever increasing. Environmentally, so many shirts are bad for the environment. Fashion attributes to 10.4% of the world's pollution, and it's easy to see why. Brands will champion sustainable and recycled materials in shirts, but the truth is they aren't always telling you the truth. Adidas ran a big For the Oceans campaign, which was releasing recycled football shirts for clubs like Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Manchester United. Parlay was the initiative, and the cause sounded amazing. Recycled materials were plastics rescued from the ocean and then designed into football shirts. That is noble. However, what Adidas didn't tell you is while some of this was true, a large percentage of the recycled materials never actually made it to the oceans or to any water in general. Plastic bottles were often collected from hotels and surrounding areas, some near water that may have ended up in the ocean, but in actuality never did. Some of these bottles were going to be recycled by large chain hotels that were going to recycle these bottles anyway. However, Adidas split a partnership with them and also took their plastic bottles and plastic waste away to make them into football shirts, with plastic never reaching the ocean. My sons ask me every year for a new shirt, and it's not because of the fashion, and it's not because of their need for it. It's because they want to be seen wearing the colour of the club they support, or more accurately, the club their dad supports. They want to show off they belong to something. A tribe their dad belongs to, a team that makes him shout, makes him cheer, makes him sing, makes him jump out of his chair, and the team that dominates the TV the times they are with me. They want to show their friends the shirt, their moms the shirt. They want to play football in it. They want to pretend to be Fernandes, Rashford, or any other hero that belongs to the club. They want to feel part of it. And this is the feeling I had when I wore my David Beckham or Peter Schmeichel shirt. I thought I was David Beckham. I'd pull my collar up and think I was Eric Cantona. I'd go in goal and think I was Peter Schmeichel, when in reality, I was just Jamie, a snotty-nosed right back who couldn't shoot for shit, but in those colours, I genuinely felt like I could. Due to football being dominated by monetisation, I worry for my lads growing up. Football is on every channel, but you have to pay for it. Unless you don't. Tickets are available for some games, but even they aren't cheap. The shirt is the connections fans should have a right to, that doesn't alienate them for not having the money for Sky or for a ticket for a match, because damn it, at least you're wearing the colours of your team. It should also be fun. It should be fun to wear a football top and be proud of your team. Look how many people come together when England are at tournaments because the person is wearing the same shirt as you. There are so many arguments for and against football shirts and the distribution of them. Large companies tie up teams in large contracts for large sums of money and produce large quantities of football shirts for the larger public for large sums of cash. This investment then helps football teams by buying better players, having money to improve the team, the stadium, the facilities, unless you're the fucking Glazers. Sorry, where was I? The pricing structure, the sustainability aspect, the fact the fans are being priced out and the fans are being hit the hardest for such short lifespans of a garment is something I cannot look past. I genuinely hope this is on the agenda to start making teams go back to free kits over 2 years. And while this is not perfect, it was still a cheaper alternative to what the market model is now. Football shirts make you belong. You become part of the team when you're wearing it. You're happy to represent it. The football shirt is covered in sponsorship. It's Adidas, it's TeamViewer, it's Chevrolet, it's DX, it's whatever is on that shirt. You are a walking billboard for that football club. They should be paying you for the privilege for their advertisement, not the other way round. And if football shirts keep going up and our pockets keep getting slimmer and slimmer, then I don't know where it ends. Please, let's do something about football shirts, the price of them, or at least look at making the longevity of football shirts longer. I've been your boy Jay, this has been Hot Takes, and this is the Great Shirt Scam.